Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be continuing on with The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Watched it yesterday afternoon, I did do a review on it, so watched it yesterday, hopefully I'll get most of the scenes. We'll see if not. You know how we do it, overall impressions and grade. After that, if you've not seen the movie or would like to, you're going to shut off the video. There will be spoiler alerts. We'll be discussing the plot, synopsis, and character development, and any similar movies or major themes. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 was released in 2014. It is rated PG-13. It is a science fiction action movie with a runtime of 2 hours and 3 minutes. You can watch it with a regular subscription on Hulu. That's where I watched it. But it says, following her rescue from the devastating Quarter Quell, Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence, awakes in the complex beneath the supposedly destroyed District 13. Her home, District 12, has been reduced to rubble, and Peter Millark, played by Josh Hutcherson, is now the brainwashed captive of President Snow, played by Donald Sutherland. At the same time, Katniss also learns about a secret rebellion spreading throughout all of Panem, a rebellion that will place her at the center of a plot to turn the tables on Snow. It did $755 million at the box office. So 84% liked it on Google, 4 out of 5 on Common Sense, 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Google says it's harrowing, intense, and brooding. What did I think? Again, like science fiction, I thought this plot was this series was rather novel, certainly entertaining, like Jennifer Lawrence, some screaming, but overall I think it's a solid series. So I did think this one was a little less entertaining than the first two. So I'm gonna give it a solid B. Entertaining, solidly entertaining. I actually like the concept of them when they actually this one they don't really play the Hunger Games that much or at all. So I like when they're actually doing. I thought that was the novelty of it. So now it's just kind of develops more into overthrow the controlling government, which is okay. But overall, I like the series. But just this one I thought was a little less entertaining than the first two. So overall entertaining. If you've not seen it, would like to, we're going to be discussing the plot, synopsis, and character development now. So Katniss wakes up, and she has been rescued after she fired the arrow and broke the dome of the 75th Hunger Games. And she is now in this underground bunker in District 13. So you have a president, almost something, a female president that's running District 13. And she's basically just kind of like catching up with the other people. Gale is there, Effie is there, Plutarch is there. Again, Plutarch, Beetee. I thought Beetee died in the second one. He didn't. He plays a relevant role in the third part, or the Mockingjay Part 1. Finnick is there. And so both Katniss and Finnick misses some girl named Annie, and Katniss misses Peeta, because Peeta has been captured by the Capitol. And so they're in this big underground bunker, and basically they want Katniss to be the face of the propaganda to, they have some momentum for this rebellion to overthrow the Capitol, and so they want her to be the face and the mascot, or just, the person that really drives the face of the movement. And so, at first she's kind of reluctant, but then she makes some demands like, you have to pardon, as soon as first chance we get, we have to rescue the other people from the other tributes that were in the games that didn't get rescued, and you have to pardon them as well. And so they're not super keen on that at first, but then they agree to it, and Katniss is going to be the name and face for this movement. And so they have this, it's a big underground bunker. They have a lot of weapons they've been building up for years, but they have this just a way to broadcast or a way to make a commercial or propaganda. And so she's trying to deliver some lines, and they're unauthentic or inauthentic, and they need to be just more convincing. And so she just says, let me go to the front lines, let me go see what's actually happening out there. And so they're like, at first they're against it because, she could be killed, but they finally agree, so they go to District 8, and they meet some people at this hospital. And so she's got this suit that has been designed by Cinna, who you do learn was killed from the beating in the second part of the Hunger Games. And like I said, Beetee is alive, and I thought he was dead from electrocution. But so you kind of have, in District 13, you have Beetee as like the science dude, you have a president almost something, and then Plutarch are kind of like the major players, along with like a military head kind of guy. And so they go to District 8, they meet with this hospital, there's a bunch of dead bodies everywhere, and it's just like a makeshift hospital. And so they do the three-finger thing where they're all in solidarity with Katniss and with just the movement. And then the Capitol sees this, and President Snow declares anybody who shows the Mockingjay symbol or affiliates it with any ways committing treason, it must be put to death instantly. Which I guess that's a major theme. Treason must be met with capital punishment. That is very true. But regardless, they go to District 8, and Beatty has made Katniss special arrows. She has regular arrows, fire arrows, and incendiary arrows, which are not really the difference between fire and incendiary. I guess fire is when it explode. Not really the differentiation of those words in that context. But anyway, they go to District 8, and once the Capitol sees this, they decide to firebomb the whole thing. So they scramble jets and send people to go bomb them. They reduce the hospital to rubble. Katniss and Gale are able to shoot down. Gale, the Liam Hemsworth character, has like a crossbow, the same type of arrows. They're able to shoot down these planes, and Katniss is devastated about the wreckage, and they're able to film their propaganda or their video at the rubble of the hospital that has just been destroyed. And so after that, you have some other scenes where Katniss sees Peeta he looks a lot different. He's being like malnourished or being tortured, and he's up there talking with President Snow, or not President Snow, the guy who hosted the main host of the Hunger Games, just about how the rebellion's a bad thing, everything that Katniss is doing is wrong, and just more stuff, just more propaganda for the Capitol. And so all of the people in District 13 are not a fan of Peeta. Katniss, senses that he's being, manipulated to say whatever he needs to stay alive, blah, blah, blah. You learn more about that later. You have some other minor scenes where Katniss and Gale are getting the hometown friend, where you're not really sure exactly where the love interest lies. From Katniss's perspective, both Gale and Peeta like Katniss. And so they have some other scenes where they're just able to go hunting or just go outside and just have some normal type of life. Regardless, after that, she visits District 12 to see where her hometown's been absolutely destroyed. She picks up some things from there. She saves Primrose, her little sister's cat. I forget what the cat's name's named, a little orange cat. And so, some other scenes of just her, reconciling that her hometown's been absolutely decimated. And then they go back to the underground base. And so now they're trying to make some moves on the Capitol. You have another scene where these farm workers or just loggers or people that work in trees, arborists, are going out to work, and their workload has been doubled or increased. And so one of these dudes starts whistling the Mockingjay song, and they go and scurry up the trees really fast, and a lot of them are getting shot, mowed down. It's a rebellion. And so they get to the top of the trees, and one the guy yells, if we burn, you burn with us. And that's what Katniss had said at District 8. And so they have bombs set underneath, and they blow up a lot of the Capitol enforcers or peacekeepers. And so there's a scene there. You have more propaganda from Peeta, and then basically they have another rebellion. They basically take a bunch of these bombs, they storm like a hydroelectric plant and plant these bombs and blow it up. And so you get more propaganda from Peeta, and then they say, once they've knocked out the power to the Capitol for a while, that there's a chance to go rescue the people they promised to rescue if Katniss was to be the Mockingjay face. So you do have some new characters in kind of like her crew. There's another blonde chick that came from the Capitol with a shaved head and some tattoos, a dude that has no tongue, people that have defected from the Capitol to fight for the resistance, and they're kind of her, her security guards as well as her camera people. So they're in the movie, kind of not minor roles. I just didn't have them written up here or whatever. But regardless, they knock out the power to the hydroelectric dam, and then that's their chance to go rescue these people. So they have Gale volunteers, and like 5 other people. And so BD is able to like hack into the Capitol system or divert their internet traffic or whatever. And so basically, point being is they have until the power comes back on to infiltrate the Capitol's tribute center where they keep these people. And so they end up, they rescue the people they're supposed to rescue, and they're about to lose the signal or the connection, and BD's like, Katniss is like, put me on to, she says that to BD, like, transmit me or broadcast me to President Snow. And so she does that, and President Snow comes on, and I think they're just keeping the channel open to, be able to rescue these people. And so President Snow and Katniss go back and forth, and President Snow's like, you don't think I know there's people in the tribute center right now, and cuts off the feed. And so now they're all freaking out, like, there's nothing we can do, these people are all dead. And regardless, they end up making it back, and Gale tells Katniss basically, they just let us fly by. Their air defense system definitely saw us, and they just let us fly by. And so I missed another major development was the Capitol does bomb District 13 severely. Katniss, when they're doing this broadcast thing through BD's hacking, Katniss is able to like be broadcasted in front of PETA, and PETA's like, they have weapons that they're going to bomb you in, right now. And so they get like 8 more minutes to evacuate or just to go get lower into the earth and to survive the bombing. Primrose goes back up to save the cat. Katniss gets Primrose, and they barely make it through the blast doors. And then there's a night of bombing, and that's what stimulates the response in terms of like the hydroelectric dam being blown up. So regardless, they get back. You get to the end of the movie, and then Katniss, Gale or Finnick is able to get Annie, and then Katniss goes to meet PETA, and she kind of cautiously approaches him, and then he attacks her. And so the head military dude like hits him over the head with hits him over the head with like a tray type thing, knocks him out, and Katniss wakes back up in like a hospital bed, and she's like, is he okay? What happened? And basically PETA had been the tracker jackers, the bees that disoriented Katniss in the first movie. They've been dosing, they caused hallucinations. They've been basically torturing PETA to, turn him into a weapon to kill Katniss, and that's why they let Gale and them escape with him. And so that's kind of what they attempted to do. So he is, in rough shape. He's a lot skinnier. He is, kind of freaking out. Katniss goes to look at him, and he's in his bed, like kind of just like, trying to work his way free, just clearly under a lot of physical stress. And so that's kind of the resolution to the movie is PETA is now back in District 13, but he was, weaponized to kill Katniss. Katniss is distraught about that. And both the Capitol and District 13 have made moves against one another. So, it's not the resolution to the series because there's another one coming out this year. But we'll be watching Mockingjay Part 2, probably reviewing it today or tomorrow, and probably doing another reading. So overall, I give it a B+, thoroughly entertaining, and a major theme of treason being met with capital punishment is required. But in the real world, people will just do whatever they want, and they'll say national security, they'll be equally scared and stupid, and they'll just destroy your life and you'll never have a career or family because of it. So thank you for watching another movie review, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, and I will see you on the next one.